Hello, I'm St. Bede Academy Admissions Director Tom McGunn, Academy Class of 1988. Thank you for stopping by to check out this video link today. I would like to welcome everyone to the 2020-2021 school year, and I would especially like to welcome to the Bruin family the class of 2024 and their parents. I certainly hope your time here at St. Bede has started off on a positive note. By the time this video link will be available, we will have completed our chaplain's day for the class of 24. 19 different grade schools into one class. And I hope that soon you'll be able to see them become a unified, dynamic, and wonderful group in a relatively quickly manner. We wanted to do this video for you to introduce you to some key personnel we feel you should know. We have a new face among us and a familiar person in a new role. Typically at this time, we'd be sharing a perfectly grilled burger in the North Park under the shelter prepared by the Bean Club. I sure hope that soon we'll be able to share that burger together. For now, I would like our administration to detail for you our educational return to learn plan for the 2021 school year. And to that familiar face in a new place, I'd like to introduce you to our superintendent, class of 1984 graduate, and mother of 3 St. Bede alumni, Mrs. Eve Pastu.
On behalf of St. Bede faculty and staff, I would like to welcome you to the 2020-2021 school year. I hope you've had a restful and healthy summer. We've been busy here at St. Bede planning for a safe reopening of the academy and cannot wait to see your students again and celebrate as a community once more. As I begin my first year as superintendent during these uncertain and difficult times, I am hopeful and motivated because of the quality of the faculty and staff here at St. Bede. They have gone above and beyond to challenge and serve the needs of your students, and as they educate and spiritually support them in their college prep paths. The faculty, led by Principal Michelle Mershon, are passionate about the rigor of the Catholic educational traditions here at St. Bede, and we are committed to welcoming our students safely to campus. As you will hear later in this program from Mrs. Mershon and new Assistant Principal Nick McLaughlin, our hybrid curriculum delivery will provide our students an engaging 5-day instruction program. St. Bede faculty will navigate the challenges posed by COVID-19 and quickly resume our unique student-centered experiences, such as travel abroad, mission trips, and extracurricular activities. Educating our students to be well-rounded and ready for their lifelong adventures rooted in the Catholic faith has never been more important than it is to us today. We will continue to communicate with you right up until the start of school on August 17th. Again, I'd like to welcome you to the St. Bede family, parents, and students of the class of 2024. Next, Mrs. Mershon will present on the Return to Learn plan of St. Bede Academy. Thank you.
St. Bede Academy is committed and dedicated to providing its students with an educational program that will prepare them for whatever post-high school life and spiritual experiences they seek. We have been building and flying at the same time since the beginning of this unprecedented time in history. Beginning on August 17th, we will load 300 passengers for our flight into the 2020-21 school year. Please know that we will be with you all the way. Join me in praying for as little turbulence as possible. We will all need to work together to make this journey a success. Academy teachers and the administrative team have been developing and redeveloping flight plans to reopen the doors to in-person instruction and online instruction. A new learning management system and a number of new technologies have been added over the summer to better facilitate student learning regardless of where that learning takes place. Students must be prepared to do their part. What a student takes from this year will have a direct correlation to the commitment they have to their own education. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. Not only will students have to work diligently in the classroom and online, but independently with the highest level of integrity. Students will carry an additional responsibility this year. that responsibility will be the health and safety of themselves and their classmates. St. Bede Academy is working tirelessly to provide a learning environment that is healthy and safe for everyone. Students must do their part by wearing a mask at all times, maintaining 6 feet of social distancing, and most importantly, to engage in healthy and safe habits outside of the school. Parents will be asked to support their students through this ever-changing journey. Communication will be the engine and fuel that keeps our students engaged, healthy, and achieving at high altitudes. At the beginning of this year, we will use a hybrid model. Hybrid models use a combination of both remote, online, and in-person instruction. 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, instruction will be delivered in person at the Academy. From August 17th through September 4th, we will use the following schedule. Classes will begin at 7:50 a.m. and end at 12:15. Each class period will last approximately 30 minutes. Students will be offered a grab-and-go lunch at the conclusion of period H. Students and families will have 75 minutes to transition home, and then from 1:30 until 2:15, students will be engaged in a remote class period. The remote class period will rotate each day on the following schedule. Teachers are required to make a visual connection with students during all remote learning class periods. This schedule will be used through September 4th and may be extended or revised beyond that date. Extracurricular events and practices may begin at 3 p.m. Throughout the entire first semester, instructional delivery on all Wednesdays will be done remotely. Again, teachers will be required to connect visually with their students each class period. Students and teachers will use the following schedule on Wednesdays. Remote instruction on Wednesday will begin at 7:50 a.m. and conclude at 2:15 p.m. Each class will last 40 minutes and have a 5-minute passing period before the next class begins. Teachers and students will not be required to report to study hall on Wednesdays. Families will also have an option of complete online delivery of instruction. Families that wish to take the online option will be required to commit to the entire first quarter. Students will follow the same schedule as indicated with the in-person hybrid model. Students will be required to participate in all classroom activities in real time. If this is an option that you would like to consider, contact either Mr. Nick McLaughlin, Assistant Principal, or myself. This is our plan for the beginning of the school year. I look forward to seeing you and boarding our flight into the 2020-21 school year. At this time, I would like to introduce our new Assistant Principal, Mr. Nick McLaughlin.
Welcome to St. Bede. I'm really looking forward to getting to meet all of you, even though things are going to look a little different this year, and that's what I am here to talk to you guys about. This year, the main thing that we're going to talk about are the safety protocols and procedures that we have established here at St. Bede, because our main priority is to keep you safe. The first thing that we are going to require is that all students wear a mask at all times. This will be part of your school uniform. Students are able to wear masks as long as they follow the Illinois Department of Health guidelines and do not contain any offensive slogans and/or images. Outside of that, it's very important that students do not congregate in the parking lot, in hallways, or in the PSC Commons. We want to make sure that we maintain social distancing at all times. This year, at least for the beginning of the year, lockers will not be used. Students will carry their book bags with all of their supplies from class to class. If this is going to be an issue for you, you need to contact Mrs. Mershon as soon as possible, and we will try to make an accommodation. This year, cell phones will be allowed to be in your backpacks, but they must be turned off. The cell phone policy will be strictly enforced. Arriving at St. Bede this year is going to be very different. Students may arrive on campus between 7:15 and 7:45 a.m. and all students will enter the building through the Perino Science Center. In an effort to have classes begin promptly at 7:50, it is imperative that students arrive by 7:45 at the latest. Seniors, you will enter the Perino Science Center through the southeast door. Juniors, you will enter through the west door. Freshmen and sophomore students will enter through the main doors of the Perino Science Centers, with the sophomore entering the east side and the freshmen entering the west side. Once you come in the building, you will have a temperature and COVID-19 system check. We are strongly recommending that you or your parents screen you before you come to the school. And if you have any symptoms of COVID, it is extremely recommended that you do not come to school that day. For your convenience, symptoms of COVID are fever or chills, cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, fatigue, muscle or body aches, headaches, loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting, and diarrhea. Once again, if you or your child is showing any of these symptoms, please do not send them to school and consult with your primary care physician. When entering school, your temperature will be taken by a staff member and you will go through a COVID screening process. The temperature that we have set follows the Illinois Department of Health guidelines as well as the Bureau County Health Department, and we are setting the temperature at 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit. If your temperature is above 100.4, we will retest you after 10 minutes. If the temperature remains above 100.4, students will be required to return home and additional testing may be required. Parents and guardians should contact their primary care doctor for further information as well. This year, once you're in the building, after your temperature and COVID screening check, you are required to go to your first hour class immediately. There will be no stopping at your lockers. There will be no stopping to talk to your friends in the hallway. You will go right to your first hour class. This year, the main hallways will be separated and it will allow for two-way traffic. Students will be required to stay on their right-handed side when walking through the hallway. Stairways will also be divided as follows. The stair tower and the old main stairwell will be two-way. It is wide enough to meet the guidelines of the Illinois Department of Health. The north and south stairwell will be one way and those will be going up. The center stairwell will be one way and will be going down. In order to achieve social distancing, classrooms will have limited seating capacities and extra furniture will be removed. A building space audit was conducted and determined that additional facilities can be used. We have added additional sections of courses. Our goal is to limit the impact on our academic program as much as possible while also following the recommendations of the CDC and the Illinois Department of Health. In an effort to accommodate social distancing in the restroom and avoid usage during passing periods, teachers will also be adjusting their restroom policies and restrooms will be able to be used during instructional time. We have also provided an ample amount of hand sanitizers in the hallway, in the classrooms, and random places throughout the building to make sure that you guys are using that product. Students will be required to wipe their tabletop seat and seat back of their desk before they leave their classroom and move to the next. Once again, this is for your safety. Students will not be allowed to use drinking fountains. It is strongly recommended that students bring a clear water bottle from home and use the refill station. St. Bede has recently adopted some guidelines as a response to COVID-19 symptoms. If a student is exhibiting a fever and 2 or more other COVID-19 symptoms, they will be immediately separated from others in the building following the isolation protocol. Parents will be immediately contacted in order for the student to be taken home. The school will utilize other emergency contacts if parents are not reached. Students will be placed in the conference room near the main office. If it is determined that the illness is not COVID-19, either through a test or a doctor's diagnosis, the student may return to school when the symptoms subside with a doctor's note confirming the negative COVID-19 diagnosis. If a student does not seek medical attention, students must isolate and not return to school unless they have met the CDC's criteria to discontinue home isolation, which currently includes 3 days or 72 hours without a fever and without using fever-reducing medication, improvement in other clinical symptoms, and 14 days home isolation from the time the symptoms first appeared. If any student, employee, or volunteer is diagnosed with COVID-19, the administration at St. Bede Academy will immediately contact the local health department. While every situation is unique, the following steps will be implemented. The student, employee, or volunteer will be sent home and monitored for ongoing symptoms as described above. The principal will distribute a COVID-19 exposure letter to all parents and employees. Note that it is essential that the privacy of the impacted student or employee be protected. The specific identity of the infected individual will not be disclosed to parents or any other employee who do not need to know. For example, it would be appropriate to inform a classroom teacher if a student in that teacher's class has been diagnosed with COVID-19. However, the principal will not inform any other teachers in the school or any parent. The student or employee's classroom work area will be thoroughly cleaned. Windows in the area will be open to maximize airflow. The administration will monitor the health of students and teachers who are a part of the infected individual's cohort. In high school, this will be the entire school population. The local public health department will be contacted in order for a decision to be made on whether or not to close the entire school to quarantine and to shift to e-learning. It is also very important that families do not travel outside of the state of Illinois to hotspot areas. If that is the case, we ask you to please check your symptoms and make sure that you're not exhibiting any COVID-19 symptoms. It is imperative that we keep our school safe. It's imperative that we keep our students safe, and that is our main priority. And now I would like to introduce you to our chaplain, Father Ronald Margerio.
Hello, I'm Father Ronald, chaplain here at St. Bede Academy. I am a face-to-face type of person. I don't even like talking on the phone. In fact, I mentioned that to somebody I was talking to just about an hour ago. However, since I'm unable to talk to all of you face-to-face, I'm doing this today best I can. At St. Bede Academy, we offer what is called a holistic learning. That's a fancy term. All it means is that we deal with the mind, the body, and the soul, or the spirit. It's all inclusive. And even though every teacher and faculty member and worker here deals with all of that with the students, we kind of specialize. I tend to deal in the area of the soul or the spirit as chaplain. I think, as we've all heard, and we're getting tired of hearing these things, we're living in an unprecedented time. In fact, worse times were before us, but we think we're unprecedented. And I believe, however, we have been placed in this time and moment in history for a very specific purpose and reason. This isn't just by chance. We're here at this moment, and we're going to decide what we're going to do with it. We believe what makes St. Bede unique, I think, is our ability to form community through bonds of both faith and a shared sense of love for God, but also for one another. We so often speak, I think, and we do this of St. Bede as a family, and that's not just a PR term. I think once you come here, you feel you're part of that group, and I think we now all need family more than ever. We've needed it all the time, but I think we're feeling a lot of different pressures that we didn't have before. So this year, like every year, but this year we're going to engage our students and their families in both traditional and new ways. Masses, prayer services, retreats, service projects, whatever we normally do, we're going to continue doing them. That might look different, but I think we're going to still have them all. The way we gather, as I said, might look different, but the spiritual formation of our students remains in the forefront of what we do here at St. Bede. I'm going to be available to the entire student body as chaplain, as I always am, but also to individual classes like the freshmen, the sophomores, the juniors, the seniors, and so forth. But then to smaller groups, we have group things that we do, and then to individuals who are going to need, during this time of the coronavirus, might need different kinds of attention than they've had in the past. I specifically asked to be filmed here in this place, right at the school entrance in front of the statue of Brother George. He was the spirit of St. Bede for many, many years. When I was a student here, he was the spirit of St. Bede, and his spirit lives on. He died on April 12th after we had gone into lockdown, so nobody could be here for the funeral and so forth, but he died on April 12th at the age of 98. We would have been celebrating his 99th birthday on the end of this month, and things would have been as normal. We would have been having a big celebration every year as we celebrated Brother George's birthday. This year's theme, through the chaplain's office, but for the school, is hospitality. Hospitality is one of the hallmarks of the rule of St. Benedict, and this rule guides not only the lives of the monks here at St. Bede Abbey, but the lives of all of us here at St. Bede. Brother George's outstretched hand here in this statue is for a purpose, because he always was shaking hands with people. You know, it's a sign of hospitality. He was like the visible sign of hospitality. We can't shake hands at this time, but there are many ways for us to show hospitality and to receive all as Christ, as the rule of St. Benedict says in chapter 53. Everybody's to be received as Christ. So again, this way, we're going to do different ways. We won't be shaking hands of welcome, and so we'll be doing a lot of other things as well. Now, if things work out, and things are very fluid right now, but if things work out, we are planning on the second day of school to have the annual all-school mass to welcome everybody back. And we're going to have this in the football stadium. I know, looking at me, you think, what is he going to do? I was a freshman football player here at St. Bede, so I'm going to get back on the gridiron. Is that what they call it, gridiron? So we'll be doing that. I'll be down there, all right? But we're doing it there so we can maintain social distancing, having people spread out through the stadium, and the altar will be down on the field. All will be welcomed, but especially the freshmen and the new students and new faculty and staff members. And we're going to welcome them not in a new way, not the way we normally do it, this handshake or a hug. It's going to have to come up another way of doing that, but it'll happen. One of the things we do here at St. Bede is pray. And we can do this because we're a Catholic institution, a religious school. We can pray, and we pray all the time. And I want to show you this little card here. This is a prayer card that was for the time when Brother George died. And I leave this on my choir stall. Choir stall is the place where the monks gather. We each have a stall, and we do morning, noon, and evening prayer. I've left this out on my stall every day because I pray to God for Brother George, who's already, I hope, in heaven, and I'm asking his intercession for us. So that's the kind of prayer we do, but we also, those who come here and who have been here in the past and who are now going to be here, realize that at the end of every class, we all say that prayer together. May the rule of St. Benedict be our guide. May the spirit of St. Bede stay with us forever. Now I'd like to introduce to you Teresa Bernabe, who is our guidance counselor. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Teresa Bernabe, and I'm the school counselor at St. Bede. I'm here to help you and your children in many different areas. I meet with each student at least once every year, usually more, and assist them in the registration process. I encourage them to select classes that are challenging for them and will be the most beneficial for them, while making sure that they take the courses that they need for high school graduation as well as for college admission. Beginning their freshman year, I work with students in the college and career exploration process. I help them to identify their skills and their likes and dislikes. And I assist them in the discovery of different colleges and careers that may be right for them. This can be a long process for most students, and I will be here to answer their questions and provide resources for them every step of the way. When students reach their senior year, I will support them in the college and scholarship application process as well. I arrange for the standardized testing. This includes the PSAT, the SAT, and the ACT, and St. Bede is a national ACT and SAT test site. I also work closely with students who need a little extra support managing their roller coaster of feelings and emotions that comes with coming to high school and experiencing all these new changes. Whether they're adjusting to high school, social, or personal issues, I will be there to listen to them and hopefully to help them make good decisions. High school can be a big adjustment for the student and the entire family, but you can be sure that I'll be here to help you every step of the way. And now back to Mr. McDonough.
Thank you, Ms. Bernabe, and thank you for your attention through this video. I knew it was going to be long enough for me to get a haircut since the last time I appeared. but I felt it was important for us to discuss our return to learn plan and the key points that go along with it. So along with the administration and the most caring, resourceful, dedicated faculty that I have the privilege to work alongside, welcome to St. Bede Academy and to the 2021 school year. For our seniors, the graduation date of May 16, 2021 may not come soon enough. And for our freshmen, the graduation date of May 19, 2024 will be here before you know it. On behalf of everyone at St. Bede, faculty and staff, thank you for putting your trust in us. Thank you for your patience as we continue to navigate education through this pandemic. And finally, know that we appreciate your dedication to the mission entrusted to us by the Benedictine monks of St. Bede Abbey. May God continue to bless you and keep you safe. And I hope you believe, as I do, that St. Bede is most definitely the school where you belong.
Hi.
And
And at to them, let me start again. I'm going too fast. You gotta slow down.
And it is to us today. We will continue to communicate.
beginning on August 17th, we will load 300 passengers for our flight into the 2021 school year.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Ms. Burnaby.